Today's Zoom session is being brought to you by the Fractal Bullseye Fire. Today we're going to be doing some rational equation word problems, and after that, 7-8 will be proportions and variation. Now, rational equation word problems, these are word problems whose equations involve ratios, involve rational functions. We've covered the mathematical methods, so here we basically are going to be doing a translation from English to math. So, okay, here we go. 7, number 17. A number is added to the numerator of 3/4, and the same number is added to the denominator, and the result is 4/7. What number? Okay. So let the number be x, and it's 3 plus x over 4 plus x. That equals 4/7. All right, so you multiply by 4 plus x, moving it to the right. Multiply by 7, moving it to the left. So we do what's called cross multiplying. So you get 7 times 3 plus x equals 4 times 4 plus x. After you distribute the 7 and the 4, you get 21 plus 7x. That equals 16 plus 4x. You subtract the 4x, moving it to the left. You subtract 21 from both sides, moving it to the right. We get 7x minus 4x equals 16 minus 21. That's 3x is negative 5. So x is negative 5/3. And okay, it's considered good form when doing a word problem to translate it back into words. So rather than saying x equals negative 5, we say the number is negative 5/3. And this is the answer rather than this. It's a bit of etiquette I request that you follow. Here we have a number plus its reciprocal equals 13/6. What's the number? Well, the number be x. Its reciprocal is 1 over x. The result is 13/6. Okay, to get rid of denominators x and 6, we multiply by 6x. We get 6x squared here, plus 6 from here, plus 13x from here. Subtract 13x from both sides. 6x squared minus 13x plus 6 equals 0. A quadratic. We'll factor this by the AC method. We need two numbers p and q, whose sum is negative 13. Notice product pq is 6 times 6, which is 36. And long story short, negative 9 and negative 4 work. Their sum is negative 13. Their product is 36. So, right, negative 13x is minus 9x minus 4x. So, 6x squared minus 9x minus 4x plus 6. After a bit of division, we get 3x minus 2 times 2x minus 3 equals 0. So 3x minus 2 is 0, or 2x minus 3 is 0. This solves to x equals 2/3. This solves to x equals 3/2. It should make sense to get two numbers like this, which are reciprocals of each other. They're reciprocals of each other, and they add to 13/6, and these then are the two possible solutions for what number this is. So there we are. Here we have a time rate problem. A Canada goose flies 10 miles per hour faster than a great blue heron. The goose flies 120 miles in the same time it takes the heron to fly 80 miles. Find their flying speeds. So we'll give those names G and H. G is the goose's flying speed. H is the heron's flying speed. The goose is faster than the heron, so G is H plus 10. Now, the equation that's of value here is that distance equals rate times time. D equals RT. Now, T, therefore, is D divided by R. And the goose and the heron take the same time. So, and the goose goes G miles per hour for 120 miles, and the time is D over R. So 20 over G, that's the goose's flying time. 80 over H is the heron's flight time, and it's the same time. So 20 over G equals 80 over H right here. Now G is H plus 10, so 120 over H plus 10 equals 80 over H. All right, so there you have an equation in one variable. Cross multiply. Move the H plus 10 to the right, move the H to the left. You get 120H equals 80 times H plus 10. So 120H equals 80H plus 800. So 120H minus 80H equals 800. So 40H equals 800. So H equals 800 over 40, and that's 20. And G is H plus 10. 20 plus 10 is 30. So the goose flies at 30 miles an hour, and the heron flies at 20 miles an hour. We have an inlet, one inlet pipe fills a pool in 4 hours, and a drain empties it in 8 hours. Now, it would obviously be wasteful to fill the pool with the drain open, but supposing you did that, how long would it take to fill the pool? Okay, we have a equation that's related to the distance rate problem. Quantity equals rate times time. So quantity equals R over T. So quantity over time is rate, quantity over rate is time. Inlet pipe's rate is 1 pool for every 3 hours. The drain is a rate of 1 pool for every 8 hours, but it's negative because this drains and this adds. So the combined rate is 1/4 minus 1/8 of a pool per hour, so 1/8 of a pool per hour. So the combined time is quantity over rate. That's 1 pool over the combined rate of 1/8 of a pool per hour. After some simple arithmetic, it comes out to 8 hours. All right. It doubles the time because because the drain is drains out as half as fast as the inlet does. All right. Well, okay, this is in a sense, okay, fine, it is a rational problem. 2 accounts pay interest to CDs, whatever, at rates that differ by 1%. And we're going to find out what those 2 interest rates are. So R1 and R2. And R2 is the bigger one, R1 plus 1%. All right. Money invested for 1 year in the first account earns $175. The same principal invested in the second earns $200. What are the 2 interest rates? Now the equation here is interest rate equals principal times rate times time. I equals PRT. Now here we're talking about time of 1 year. So T equals 1. So really I equals PR. The rates are R1 and R2. R2 is R1 plus 1%. So principal times a lower rate is 175. Principal times a higher rate is 200. Now we rewrite R2 as R1 plus 1%. So PR1 equals 175. P times R1 plus 1% is 200. Now we distribute P. PR1 equals 175, and PR1 plus 0.1P equals 200. Now here we have a PR1, and here we have PR1 equaling to 175. So we can put 175 in where this PR1 is. And you get 175 plus 1% of P equals 200. Okay, now it's a simple matter of finding out P. That's not what we want. We want R1 and R2, but we'll get P along the way. So we subtract 175 and get 1% of P is 200 minus 175. So 0.101P equals 25. Divide by 1%. P equals 25 over 0.01. So P equals 2,500. So principal of $2,500. Now going back to here, P 2,500 times R1 equals 175, like we had here. 2,500 R1 equals 175. So it's a simple matter of dividing. R1 is 175 over 2,500, which comes out to 7%. R2 is 1% more. R2 is 7% plus 1% is 8%. So the interest rates are 7% and 8%. Okay, I believe that does it for this. Let's stop recording.